Adding a little bit of difficulty to our equations, we're going to have variables on both sides of the equation. It's not as straightforward as just working backwards through the order of operations. Before we can do that, we have to get all of the unknown variables or combine like terms. So we're going to have to make sure that all of our variables are on one side of the equation. It does not matter which side. I prefer to move the variables to the left. So I'm going to take this 7x and move it to the left. In order to remove it from the right side and add it or take it to the left side, we have to add the opposite. This is a positive 7x, so we are going to add a negative 7x. Subtracting 7x is the same thing as adding a negative. 8x minus 7x gives us 1x. Those eliminate to 0. X minus 2 is equal to negative 9. This is the only variable that we have left in our equation, so we want to get rid of the negative 2, the minus 2. In order to do that, we're going to have to add 2 to both sides. And that will give us x equals negative 7. The 2's did eliminate, they became 0. Here again, I am going to move the 8p to the left. This is a positive 8p. You always look at the sign in front of the number. That determines whether it is a negative or a positive. So since this is a positive 8p, I am going to add a negative 8p to both sides, or subtract 8p. It is the same. Negative 3p minus 14 is equal to 4. This minus 14 also means negative. In order to move the negative 14, remove it from the left side, we have to add a positive 14. We are also going to add a positive 14 to the right side of the equation. We now have negative 3p is equal to a positive 18. Negative 3 is multiplied by p, so we are going to divide both sides by negative 3. Division works exactly like multiplication. If the two signs are the same, then your answer is going to become positive. But when you have one positive and one negative, your answer is going to be negative. And 18 divided by 3 will give us negative 6. This one looks a little bit different because it does have parentheses in the problem. 6 is on the outside of this parentheses. This is called the distributive property. Anything that is in front of the parentheses is multiplied by everything inside. So before we can get all of the k's together, I need to eliminate the parentheses. I'm going to take 6 and multiply it by each one of those terms. So on the left side, we have negative 18 minus 6k, and that is going to equal 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 3k is 18k. Once we've eliminated the parentheses, this looks exactly like the first two examples in this section that we did. We are going to move the 18k to the other side. Make sure that you line up your like terms so that you make sure that we add the correct coefficients or numbers together. We have on the left negative 18 minus 24k equals 6. Be careful with the positive and negatives. Here we are adding. So we are adding a negative 6 and a negative 18 together. So that tells me I've got negative, or 24 negatives basically. It has nothing to do with the signs that you are working with in multiplication and division. K is what we're trying to eliminate, or isolate, sorry. So we're going to take negative 18. We have to remove that number first. So we're going to add 18 to both sides. Then we divide by the negative 24. And our final answer would be negative 1.